Mr. Ntshalintshali, thank you so much for your time on eNCA this evening. As Cosatu, how are you reacting to the President's address? He's announced that the UIF test scheme will be extended by another month. I'm imagining that you are celebrating this because it's the workers that will be benefiting from this fund.
Not at all. We're expecting from the President earlier announcement that as long as there's a lockdown, as long as there are workers that are unable to go to work, the test will be extended to cover them for the shortfall in terms of their income. Remember, this is workers' money, it's not government's money. This is the workers' money that is managed by government. This is the contribution that the employers and the workers are making as a contribution. And during this time of no income, there's no other reason why the test cannot be extended to cover the period concerned. So to say to extend it just to October, I think is not correct when we know that the lockdown, this level, is also extended further. And it also does not make sense that we say to the workers, you are on your own after that one, but for everybody else, we extend the 350 rand for the next 3 months. Why workers are being punished when in fact it's not on their own making that some of the companies are still not operating fully.
So the national state of disaster has been extended until December the 15th. So what are you saying as Cosatu? Are you saying that you would want the UIF test benefit to be extended beyond the national state of disaster?
No, remember the President said they extended till to the 15th of October.
Yeah, but the President there got it wrong, Mr. Ntshalintshali. I think he misread. He meant that it's been extended by another month from what we understand.
Look, we respond to what we hear. We don't know. The President has said earlier is extended for the period that is under the disaster, under disaster, which we appreciated and we agreed on. The Minister of Labour came back and said, no, we don't have money to extend it for that period. So when the President says we only extend by 1 month, our understanding and interpretation is that it confirms what the Minister has been talking about, to extend to the 15th of October, which we reject. To us, it must be extended to the full duration of the disaster. So if extended, the disaster is extended to the 15th of December. So should be the test extended in that context. We don't think they're talking about the same thing. We don't think it's a mistake, as you may indicate.
Yeah. Look, I'm looking.
And we have not seen the we have not seen the statement. We have just listening to what he's saying.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll get more clarity, possibly by tomorrow, on what the President really meant. Is it extended by another month, meaning till December, or is it by another month based on what the Labour Minister had said, which wasn't by December? I want to ask you for your reaction to the announcement around businesses, the President announcing that alcohol sales will now be permitted, the trading hours will go back to normality, and also the big announcement around international travel, the President saying that we're opening up our borders, people can come in, but they have to come under strict restrictions. We have to ensure that they follow the safety protocols. We check if they've got their test results. How are you responding to that?
I think we'll have appreciated that the other industries, the realization is cutting across the industries. The restaurants are still not operating fully in dealing with those issues. And I think we need to be, during this period, to allow them to operate in a better environment where they can be able to make some money and be able to retain workers and be able to pay them their salaries. This is during the difficult time. So the question of opening it up very carefully should be, in a broad terms, welcome in that way. But for the question of opening to the travel, I'm not sure where will these people be coming, which countries they will be coming, because many of the countries from the Europe, which are the countries that we normally make business with. They're on a lockdown where we're supposed to have gone to the ILO, to Geneva and all those issues. And those countries, they said, we're in a serious lockdown. You look to the infection in those countries. It's so high to an extent that you will not be expecting any country to be allowing some kind of Africa should be quite careful, should not be driven by the question of just say, we're opening the economy, we don't care where people are coming from, because we know that the question of the infection is by people, particularly from those particular companies. So it surprises us as to say, which countries are they referring to when the European is on the lockdown, totally cutting the question of travel.
But the president did stress, Mr. Ntshalintshali, that there will be, the strict adherence of safety protocols. So you're not just opening the borders to whoever wants to come in the country. They still have to make sure that they've got their COVID tests. So those are some of the things that government will ensure, the boxes that government wants to tick before they can even allow some of those people, even those coming from these high-risk countries, to come in the country. I suppose what we've heard from business and the tourism industry is that this is much needed. These are industries that have really suffered during lockdown. And if you are not giving them this necessary relief under the strict safety protocols where you welcome, some of these visitors from Europe, from America, who ordinarily actually do visit our country during the holiday season, then the industry can go to the ground and more workers can actually lose their jobs.
Look, business is not interested about life. Business is interested about making money. I mean, in terms of our own operation, business doesn't care about the adherence to the Disaster Management Act. Our people workers are exposed on a daily basis in terms of, if you are looking to what business wants the normality. They don't care about that there is a increase in terms of the infection. What they are prepared, they are open to it. They want to see the economy working as normal. Our issue is that we must be able to balance both the livelihood as well as the question of life. We must balance this thing all the time.
But isn't that what the president is doing, Mr. Ntshalintshali? Isn't that what the president is doing?
I'm talking about the business because there's a pressure coming for business that you say we must open it up, the economy. Business are not involved in the question of where people are being infected so much. They are not in the tax industries. They are not complying with the disaster management. So we take it with a tip of salt. Salt. That look, what they are doing, it might be correct, but their desire, and it should be dealt with in a different way. We are not hearing government saying people coming from these different countries, the adherence is that they will be in isolation for 15 days, like what the other European countries are doing.
All right. Cosatu's General Secretary Bheki Ntshalintshali, thank you for your time on eNCA this evening.